Hello, welcome back to Primo Calcio. I'm Michael here with Anthony. We're going to be doing an AC Milan team rebuild. This will be our realistic version. At some point, we'll probably do a more fantasy version of what I would do if I had the reins. This will be a kind of semi-realistic. Still give our takes on it, but this will be with a lot of the actual links, so it's going to be what could be possible. How you doing today, Anth?
Yeah, I'm good. Italy won. They beat the powerhouse of Moldova,
Yeah.
and so now I'm ready to fix this non-Italian team that you have here.
Yeah, that's been the big thing, right? That Milan is rumored to do the Italianization thing. I don't really know if they're going to actually do it. A lot of the links are there, but I've been fooled in the past to where what happens is they'll start looking at players, eventually say, we just got priced out, and they'll get somebody who's like adjacent,
Yeah,
not Italian, and then the team.
yeah,
So,
or they'll pay the same amount of money for the guy that they were supposedly priced out for somebody else.
right, but his salary will be a little better. The thing that is not as wild is that there's no growth decree, which was the easy way out before in the past, but there's right now, so there's not an easy way.
It's just about market expansion so that they can please their shareholders and show them good pizza charts and pie graphs. That's really what this is all about. It's not actually about building a team anymore, but we can pretend like it is.
I think now they do have to do a little bit of that because they realize that not qualifying for top four is massive. They actually lose money. So they have to build enough of a team. I think that's what they're going to do. They have to build enough of a team to be in the top four. And then anything beyond that is just marketing. Like they got Pulisic because he's the most marketable American out there. They have Jimenez because he's the most popular, was the most popular Mexican player, the biggest name on that list. So they got that market. I mean, they've been kind of expanding into these little markets. They have a lot of French players. I thought they were going to make a big like Asian signing almost, like getting a son from Tottenham, because
Yeah.
that would open up that market. That's what I thought they were going to do from a marketing standpoint. And he's actually a good player too. But hey, I digressed a bit. So I'm going to start with the formation that Milan ran earlier on in the season. It was kind of a 4-2-3-1, not necessarily this what they're showing, but because they didn't actually have a true attacking mid, this was a little more like Grinders, probably a little further back. Either way, this is how they ran it at the start. Magnan in goal, Hernandez left back. The center backs changed a lot. I just put two of them there that played a decent amount, but
Yeah, they didn't have Jimenez.
it was a very much a rotate. It was Pavlovic, Gavia, Tomori, and Chiao, and they all rotated. So I can't really put them over the other. Right back would have been Calabria at the beginning, and everybody's favorite Emerson Royale.
No, Real. It
And
was Real, baby.
I think I think we have to put him on here because it's so embarrassing. He gets to
Yeah.
stay as the picture. Um, Fofana in mid, Reinders in mid. Those two basically played on most of the games. They're locking down. It's like a two-man mid. Musa played a bunch of strange positions. He was incredibly overplayed throughout the entire season and way too overplayed under Conte. The attack was not Jimenez at the start. It was Morata. Then it was Leon Pulisic. So that's kind of what they had on paper. Not terrible. Besides this piece here and this piece here, and Real. Then
Yeah.
we kind of moved to the later portions, which they kind of ran in more of a 3-4-3, and
No, that was good. They didn't have. It was good they didn't have Real anymore there. Yeah.
yeah, right.
Reindeer. Yeah.
Dale,
Teo.
Jimenez.
Jimenez. I mean, that made a lot more
That
sense.
yeah, this is much
Yeah.
better for them, and they immediately started playing better once this happened. I mean, they still weren't a great team, but the defensive fragility ended quite immediately. They weren't letting in 4 goals anymore. They're letting about
Well, why
one
aren't they a great team? Why couldn't this roster have done better than it did?
because there's
In my
poison at the
opinion,
top.
yes, yes, yeah. It was a loaded question. I think they have the second best roster talent-wise in Serie A, with guys like Leao and Hernandez and Magnan. I don't, Reinders, Fofana, Pulisic. I mean, these are good players, and they're finished what, eighth place this year? Is that what you got?
Yep, I believe it was eighth place.
So does this look like an eighth place team on paper to you? So the question is, what is the problem truly with this squad?
Problem is cohesion, lack of actual team building. This was built by algorithms. This wasn't built by teammates who should be playing together half the time. It's built by bad coaching, poor motivation, and a lot of poison from the top. The atmosphere around the club sucks. and there's no core. It means nothing to play for Milan. We're just a stepping stone. When you come into the locker room, nobody who's been there is like, I am AC Milan, and this is how things are. When you join in, you buy into this family. That's how it used to be. This is not what you see because nobody actually knows what the heck Milan is besides probably Gabbia, who grew up there. That's about it. That's what you get. You have one guy, and it's not like Gabbia's a remarkable player. I think he's actually an underrated defender, but it's not like he's like a Maldini guy who like holds a lot of class or clout. That's all you got.
Right.
So I mean, this is what you have here. You have no core, you have no Milanismo at all, and you have poor building. We all
It's a bunch of
knew
mercenaries.
a D mid was the number one signing. Once you sold off Cassie a few years ago, once you sold off Tonali, and you didn't replace them with a D mid, we needed two D mids realistically, and they signed none. Juana's not a D mid. Reinders is definitely not a D mid. Moose is not a D mid. I mean, left ass cheek is not a D mid. I don't know who you're awful signings for a D mid role. They just signed a bunch
Yeah.
of center mids, and then they even have guys like Liberale, who's more of like a center mid slash attacking mid. You have Zeroli, who's a kid who's center mid. We don't have any D mids on the roster.
There's zero consideration for the nuance of the position. It's just on a computer. It said CM, so they picked him up.
What's even worse is the first formation really was a 4-2-3-1. I know I kind of listed different, but it was a 4-2-3-1. In a two-man mid, both players have to have some true defensive responsibility. They should really be DMs who can also create and pass and cycle the ball. And we were playing with a formation that requires two D mids, and we had none. Kind of wild.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
that was one thing.
This is the fear with Juventus got a guy like Camoli coming in who literally says he builds his teams based on data. So this is exactly what the problem with this squad is. And I don't know what Milan's going to do to fix it. I don't know if they are going to actually really fix it. They definitely have a better coach in there now who's going to be able to organize a team.
And a better
But I
sport
don't know if
director.
they're actually going to be able to fix this problem.
Now, I don't think that Tare is remarkable. He made a couple of good signings for Lazio. He kept them competitive. That's good enough. We'll see what he can do with a team who has a lot of historical clout now. This will be his first big job like this. But I think he's good. I don't
It's a
think
big
he's
step.
remarkable. There's other DSs who would have preferred over him, but it is what it is. They made the choice quickly, which I can at least say that's the first time Redbird ever has done this because they're always waiting for some market opportunity to evolve. This time they just made their choice and they got Allegri fast, which I think with the coaches that were out there and the speed of which they did it, it was not a bad choice. I don't know if he's the coach I would choose for a rebuild. Actually, I know I would not choose him for a rebuild, but I think he's going to get the players to play hard, and he's going to make this team a lot more defensively stable, which they haven't been, and he should give them an identity.
Depends what you're
Without
trying to accomplish with Allegri. It depends on the plane of the board. If you want
top
to
four,
just patch stuff up and win now, that's Allegri. If you want to actually build something, Allegri is not your guy.
yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head. So that's something I've been saying is I think the reason why they made this choice is they realized how much money they lost not getting top four. And if it was me, I wanted a total gut job of this team, barring like maybe 3 or 4 players, and just rebuild it from scratch. Start with the good foundations. It's going to be hard for a few years, but this team will look amazing in a couple years with a lot of core. You can build it the right way, almost like Barcelona-esque, like build it with a lot of like your own, not to play like Barca, but in the way that they build, the way that they develop.
Yeah,
That's what I would love
they build
to
from
create.
within.
Yes.
They build from the youth system, and they only bring in world-class players when they're available at the right price. This is the same spot Juve's in, and this is the same. I'm sure we're going on the same path. I've always said we're like a year behind. It's both our teams need actually a complete gut job and to be built from the inside out or from within. The advantages of doing it right now. I don't think Serie A is that good right now. You have Napoli, that is your best team in Serie A right now. Inter's, they just lost Simone Inzaghi. They have Kivu coming in, who's never properly coached yet. So I think that we're in some. I think Serie A is truly up for grabs. So even if you
Definitely.
do a complete rebuild, it's not
Can't be much worse than 8th
unrealistic
place.
to be in a top 4. Yeah, it's not gonna be much on. Yeah, it's not crazy to be 4th place.
Also, this is all you have to worry about. You have no Europe at all. You didn't qualify for anything. So you have one game a week, and then you have Coppa Italia. So you should be able to see all your youngsters possible in Coppa Italia, and then a mix, throughout the season. However, that is not why they did this. They chose Allegri because they realized how damning it was to lose all the money they did for missing top four. They have to get it now, and so they hire Allegri, and Allegri is probably going to get them top four. What he does, right? He's not going to play beautiful. He's going to play practical. He's going to play smart,
Yeah.
physical. He is very, very technically sound. He doesn't have just one rigid formation. He's got some that he prefers, but he's played multiple across his career. He's just going to put the right guys in the right spots. They're going to all track back for sure. And that's fine. He's going to lock this team down, and they're probably going to get top four.
Well, here's one thing I will say about Allegri. When he was forced to have young players thrust upon him, he did play them, and they learned a lot from him, and they all loved him. Our young players loved Allegri.
Oh yeah.
The problem was when we had guys like Paratici in there, in the end of Marotta's reign, it was just all, the same profile player.
Physical, strong, big.
Yeah, physical, strong, low technique, and that's what Allegri likes. And if you guys just force feed him young players and a young team that he's got to, they will. I mean, he's a proper coach. He knows what he's doing.
Yep.
I just don't think that's why they hired Allegri. I think they hired Allegri to patch it up and win.
Oh, definitely. They hired him to win now and to get that money back, because that's what Redbird is. They are a hedge fund. They need to make their investors money. They need to make themselves money. That's why they exist. I can't blame them. They are a business. I just hate it because I hate that they chose my team to pick, and now I have to deal with this crap for a long time until they sell and leave. So I really wanted them to just sell and leave, and I wanted them to get absolutely slammed. There's a ton of cash. Try to just recoup whatever losses and get out. But Allegri gets in top four, they're probably going to keep staying and say, hey, we got a nice repeatable process. So
that's the problem. They don't give a fuck about championships. They just want to get that Champions League money, and they're fine with that. So this is why you avoid doing a proper rebuild, and you just get more patchwork.
Well, Cardinale, for all he is at least pretty honest in those business meetings. He said he doesn't want to win champion. He doesn't care. If he wins one, great, but he's not shooting for that. Because that's he said that's like a boring, dry thing, right? He wants other teams to keep winning it to cycle, and then you have your chance here and there, and that's exciting and great.
What a shithead.
Yeah. And he just wants to keep getting top four and keep getting that Champions League money to compete every year, and that's it. Like, and this is what Milan fans are forced to accept. I mean,
at least your guy's honest.
Oh, he's transparent. So is Scaroni. For as much of a kind of snake I think that dude is, he's very honest. He tells you exactly what he thinks, and I can't knock the board for that. Yeah, they just want to keep qualifying top four. They just want to make money, rinse and repeat, and just keep bringing money home to their shareholders.
Yeah,
that's it.
If they get a player that can sell for a lot of money, he's gone. So don't fall in love with your players, fans. It's not about that anymore.
Actually, an amazing
fall in love
segue.
with those players.
Amazing segue, because people were falling in love with Reinders, right? Kiss the badge, all like all these people do. It's a dream to play for Milan. I've always supported them, right? Oh, great, awesome. So I totally believe you, by the way. And then they get a fat offer from Man City. Their salary's gonna triple, and I can't even really blame them for leaving. Like, he doesn't owe Milan anything, right? He's not Milan.
What happens when you buy mercenaries?
Yeah, he's not Italian. Like, he hasn't grown up here his whole life. Like, he's got a family. He's got a career. Let's be honest, Man City's gonna be a better team than Milan will be the next few years here. Unfortunately, but it's true. Like, I don't blame the guy for leaving. People can knock it all they want. I wish Milan would actually build a real midfield and then use him as like a chair on top piece, which is what he would be. But no, they're gonna sell, and they're gonna get price similar to Tonali money for him, and they're gonna hopefully invest it well, because the Tonali money they totally failed with and downgraded their squad. So I guess we'll start with some of the rumors out and kind of evaluate those, some of the rumors in, and kind of wind up on a little bit of a hodgepodge formation. So, rumors out, Reinders, we talked about it, Man City. Rumor right now is 75 mil.
He's gone. Delete him. He's gone.
Yeah, so
he's not sticking around.
He's gonna be out. So Reinders.
Heyo.
We will actually, I don't know if you can just delete on here, can you?
Do you have female players you can put in there in this place?
We'll just put. Is there like a random?
Put Musa in there.
No, there are gonna be Emerson Royales. But so all right, so there are gonna be Emerson Royales. That's a placeholder. It's kind of what he is. He's a body.
Is he?
All right.
Is he?
No, he's amazing.
I think Allegri's gonna love him.
Dude, he's gonna play him. Oh,
he will. He's Brazilian. Allegri is rock hard for Brazilians.
He's gonna play him.
We played Alexandro, Bremer, and Danilo. I called them the Three Stooges for years. It was the most frustrating thing to see. And even like the last year of Allegri, when we had we had like the best defense in the league. When we had it was Rugani, Bremer, and Gatti. As soon as those guys came back, boom, they were right back in the lineup. Didn't matter how good the other guys were. He
Awesome.
loves Brazilians.
Awesome. So they're all going to be Royale for these intents and purposes. All right, so Reinders out. About 75 mil is what's rumored. Who knows if they're going to get that? They might get it in like installments. I don't really know, but that's the most recent number. Could be less. Next, Theo Hernandez. This one I don't really know. He's been rumored away, but then some people say he's going to stay. His value just absolutely tanked, which is
Doesn't
wild.
matter. Primo Calcio's in charge of the transfer.
We
What
are,
we gonna
but
do?
we got to see if it's legit or not. So I think that it is a legitimate possibility. I don't think this actually is going to go through unless like a different link with a different club comes by. We'll see. We'll see if he just wants to make a ton of cash or if he wants to kind of take the peak years and play for a good team. I don't know. Um, I always thought he would go back to like Real Madrid, but we'll see.
Yeah.
What would I do? So if it was me, I actually think that there's not many better left wing backs. If we're playing with 3-man formation, I would honestly have kept him. But his attitude's been so bad this past year, it makes me lean towards a sale. But with a new coach, a new core, he was amazing back when we actually had like a real Milan team. I would actually have kept him if Allegri feels like he can control him and actually make him work hard. He can't do much better than wing back than Hernandez. There's just not many better than him out there. So
Allegri's a very chill coach. Players like this love him because Allegri doesn't care if you want to make your hair pink, wear little cute outfits and do fashion model shoots. And he doesn't run a difficult practice. His practices are very, very light. It's definitely he runs like a country club. So Hernandez might really like playing for Allegri.
yep, no, and if he can get the best out of him, as I said, he's probably one of the top 3 best wingbacks out there. So if we're playing wingbacks, if he's going 4-man back line, I would sell Teo. It's not even close. Out. If you're going
Yeah.
wingbacks, I would actually probably keep him, especially because his value is tanked so much. At 40 might be the max we can get for the guy, and you're just not going to get an amazing left wing back for that price. They've been linked with Cambiaso from Juve. I don't think that's going to actually happen. If it did, I'd be okay with that. But you kind of be swapping one for the other. I don't know really what to do at that point. I'd be happy with either. Honestly, if those are my choices, and I'd wind up with either Hernandez or Cambiaso, I'm fine with either. But I would probably keep him for that price since I don't trust us to replace him well.
You just like his hairstyles. You can't wait to see what he's going to have next.
Yes, amazing hairstyles.
You
No
love
man,
his diving, his theatrics. You love his little bitch attitude. You love him.
so bad.
Yeah.
So that's the next link. Another link out is Mike Magnan. He's been his value absolute tank. Just a couple years ago, he's worth about 60 mil plus. Since he's one of the best keepers around. Lots of lengthy injury spells. Lots of gaffes that he's had this year. Not many injuries this year, but more gaffes and just like inconsistent performances.
He's been
His
very messy.
value, yeah, tanked all the way down to about 25 or so mil. Also based on his contract. Chelsea is rumored to be looking at him for around 25 mil, maybe even less. Who knows? I would actually sell. I think that this is a piece that you could start to establish that Italian core with and replace him with a very capable Italian keeper. So let's go over our keeper links here. All right, so Magnan out. So for the time being, he's going to be Emerson Royale. There you go.
Yeah.
Oh, let's replace him with. Oh, you can't have him. They won't let you put him.
Can't have two Royales.
He gets to be
Just,
Musa.
just, just put the young guy on there. Put the young guy on there. Because
Who's the
that's
young
who
guy?
he's deleted. So
Toriani?
the other guy's going to. Yeah, yeah.
I would definitely keep Toriani, by the way. I would love to see him be the actual
Yeah.
second keeper. I don't want to see us buy a second keeper. I want to see us buy a primary and Toriani as a
Yeah.
backup.
Well, and he's
Should be
got
third string.
that little mushroom perm all these kids got now too. So he's
it's great.
he
Every
really has his
kid's a
own unique
robot.
personality.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all the same exact person.
Right. So that's what I want to see. I want to see Toriani. And although you know what, he doesn't actually have that when he plays. It's very normal.
Yeah, whatever.
He
Whatever you
doesn't.
say.
He doesn't. I'll
Yeah.
give him. All right. So links for goalkeepers. Most recent is Suzuki from Parma, Aprile,
Gross.
Milenkovic Savic, Svilar. That's about it. I think there was one more in there. Those
Yeah,
are the 4 most likely.
yeah. So
Give me your takes
Svilar
on
and
these, and I'll give
Milik,
you my take.
I think they're all three at the same level. And then people go, "Oh, Caprile." No, Caprile is an excellent, excellent keeper, and I would, out of all of them, the best one's Vilar, in my opinion. I mean, Milinkovic-Savic had a great season. He's primed. He's ready. He's battle tested. But Svilar was under a lot of pressure this year in a lot of big games, and he performed outstandingly. Truly, truly outstandingly, and it was especially under a coach like Allegri that's going to really D up well. His athleticism will just absolutely shine. I think that would be my first choice. My second would actually be Caprile, because I think that he is cheap. He's extremely talented as well, and I think he's also Italian, and Milan desperately needs to get their team to be more Italian. This is not okay, and I don't care what anyone says. Well, I just want to win. No, well, how's that been going for you? Because that's
Yep.
been the philosophy now for what, a
You can
decade?
only do
How's it
that
been
on
working
Real
out?
Madrid or Man City when you can buy the best of the best, and then it really doesn't matter where you guys
Yeah.
are from. I wouldn't like it still, but I'd be like, okay, fine. At least you actually are establishing a massive dynasty.
Yeah.
No,
It's a
this
low
doesn't work.
IQ argument. It doesn't work in Italy. We're not an EPL team. We're not a Spanish team. We even there, it's just Real Madrid, but Barcelona's building from within. Like,
Yep.
they're doing it, and everyone's creaming their pants over how they played this year. Oh, they're so great. But what do you think they did? They didn't just go buy the hottest name on the
It's a
block,
bunch of their own youth development players. I mean, like Yamal
right?
came from they're like so many of these guys. Pedri, like Barcelona built from within. That's actually what I want them to do. I mean, yes, this rebuild is important, but making sure their youth sector keeps feeding itself with Italian talents, or with mainly Italian talents, with a couple from other to just grow with them, and then you kind of have that Milanese one ingrained in you. So when you actually grow with the team, you are like another one of those pieces, those homegrown pieces who can just continue that going forward. I don't know, man. We've
Well,
lost that entirely at Milan. I can't tell you the
what is
last youth player
the
we've had besides Calabria, and that's not a great player.
well, and you have
I guess
Camarda
Gavia.
and you have Camarda and Liberali, and you
Yes,
don't even want to play him.
totally
So
mismanaged. Yeah,
yeah,
and
so
I don't know if
so
Max is gonna play him.
no, Max does not play young players unless he absolutely has to, and when he does, they shine. He does a great job with them. He just That's not his. He doesn't like those guys as much
He
as
might
he should.
give Camarda some time. I don't know if he's going to give Liberale some
Mm,
time
It
because Liberale does not have the physical stature that he likes. Camarda is a big kid already, so he might
it
give Camarda
depends,
some time.
It depends who you guys bring in. So with the goalie situation, you're going to sell Magnan for how much money?
Honestly, even though he's linked for 25, I think he's going to go for 20. I don't think we're
Okay.
getting any more than 20 from
I
Magnan.
mean, do you know what his like is that pure plus Valenza?
We didn't pay a lot for him. Like it was like
Okay, so
15. We were going to
you're
make
gonna make a good profit.
no, we're going to make nothing like 5 mil. It's not a lot of
What's
profit.
what's what are you paying for Svilar?
Probably 20. Probably gonna be straight.
Right, exactly. So this is why I would either go with Caprile, or I would look at Moret as free. I would try to get a guy on a free, because you have Toriani in the system. You just need a guy to come in there that has experience, that's battle tested, and can do the freaking job. You're not going to be able to, if you're going to sell Magnan for 20 million, you need to pick up a guy that's just going to be
Uh,
able to carry the torch until Toriani's ready.
Actually, have
That's called
two other
team
young
building.
keepers too
That's
that are
called
good.
progress.
There's
Yeah,
also
sure.
Nava and there's also Rivera who also plays for Milan. They're both young and very good. Obviously, Torriani is probably like one age wise and level wise more ready probably, but there's a lot building up. So I don't mind the Moret suggestion. I'd be okay with that because at least he's won 2 Scudetti. I don't think he's a remarkable keeper, but he's solid. He's Serie A proven. Yes, on a free, that's a very easy transfer. I would take that for trying to save money. My choice, I do think the Spieler is probably the best of those three. Although
Yeah.
Milenkovic Savic on his day, it has been consistent every year. He's just a good
Oh,
keeper.
he's either way, you're not going to be in bad shape with either of
No,
those guys, but I don't know why you'd sell one and pay the same price
I
for another. I understand how amortization works, I really do,
yeah.
but it just doesn't really make sense in the long run, because you have multiple good young keepers. I would get a guy on a free for the
My
goalkeeper
choice
position. Get
is
bigger
Caprile.
fish to fry.
I think
Yeah,
Caprile is actually a better keeper than Meret with a lot more potential as well. I think Caprile would be a great choice. That's my choice. He's also going for less than 10 million. Very, very feasible. You have him starting, you have Toriani backing up, and as I said, I would be okay with Meret. So Caprile for
easy.
me gets the nod.
Boom. I like it.
Okay, so center backs.
I hate your defense. Your defense blows, dude. Sorry,
Center backs.
it
If you're
does.
running a 3-man D, I would immediately accept the offer that was just rumored for Pavlovich for 30 million in Crystal Palace.
Oh my
I think
God.
he would do
Yeah,
amazing over
get him
in
out of
the
there.
EPL. He's physical. He's poor positionally, but he wins a lot of combative battles. He's going to do great in the EPL. So go 30 mil. See ya. Bye.
Yeah, it's the EPL's a low IQ league. But it's physical and it's
He needs to be
perfect. Yeah,
giving us move stuff right now. Okay.
yeah,
All right.
yeah.
So who do you bring in? There's been a lot of different rumors. Actually, we got the rest to go through. Then there's Malik Chow, who's been linked with Leverkusen. I think Chow is actually going to be a decent defender, but I would sell him. He's going to go for anywhere between 20 and 30. I bet you they settle on 25. Great. See you later. So
Well, how's Allegri going to run this though? Like I guess it depends on who he has. He's pragmatic as hell. So
depends on who he gets. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. But I
So
mean, okay.
I think that's it's okay to sell him. I mean, you do need some backups if you're running 3-man D. You need probably 6 players. But I think that you can
I
probably
think
find a
you
couple
keep
youngsters.
Tamori.
I
I think you
definitely
keep
keep
Tamori and
Tamori.
Gabia.
I think he actually does have some fight in him, especially when he came here. He had a bad season last season, but he was playing with every different defender out there. These two are the only 2 defenders I keep. I
Yeah,
keep
I
these
agree.
2. I keep the youngster Bartasagi to be like your 5th or 6th choice. Um, I I do like a couple of their links. I like the Leoni link. I like
I like
the
Bartola.
I
I think
like their
Bartola's free,
Bartola.
by the way.
Bartola, I 100% sign for free. That's
Yep.
a no brainer. He also plays on the left side. So for me,
Yep.
it's Leoni, Bartola. You sign him up. We've been linked back with Calafiori. I think that's an absolute pipe dream. That should have been the signing we made for 5 mil a couple years ago. You can't go back on that and pay 50 plus. It's not going to happen. We're not doing that. There's no way.
Oh, they're not gonna be the salary demands either. That's the thing about our teams now. They just won't play the salary because we're so fiscally responsible.
Yeah, so I think that's a total
Congratulations.
pipe dream. And while he would have fit the Milan style absolutely perfectly at the time, it is what it is. We're not paying it. So this is a semi-realistic build. He's not coming. Yes, I like Leoni, I like Camuzzo, I like Bartola. I think Bartola's an easy sign. You just do it, get it done with, because he's
Yeah.
free. And then you sign one of those others. I think Leoni is the most likely. What the foot is Leoni?
Oh, he's right-footed.
Yeah, I guess it doesn't really matter too much. Some of these guys
I don't think
obsess
we're
about it too
getting. I
much.
think Leone is going to. Yeah, that's totally overrated. I think Leone is going to enter. I
I
don't think
agree.
our teams are going to make the move for him. I really don't. I think Bertola is really a good option because he is free. So Camuzzo's still available. Leone's still available. Coppola's off the deck now. So I mean, and what's his name? I just said Bertola. So those 3 young players, Leone. God, I just did it. What was it? Leone, Bertola, Camuzzo.
Yeah, no, I
2 of
mean
the 3 of them are
those are all
right-footed.
great, but Bartola needs to be signed for sure. You got
I
Bartasagi,
mean,
who I think that even though they're running him as a left back, he's not a left back. He's 100% going to
Allegri
be
is not going to
converted to a
start an
left center
18-year-old
back.
kid on your defense.
But he's not going to start.
Allegri,
He's going to be a sub,
yeah,
and I just want him to
yeah.
grow in that role. He's too slow to be a side back. He's going to be a left center back or eventually a center back. That's where he should be learning to play. He should be backing up the LCB spot. That's my vision for
That's a pretty
Bartasagi and what we
slow.
should be doing.
So Bertola, I think, is a better option in that defense because you have Gabia is slow, Leone is slow, Tomori is fast. Bertola's pretty athletic. I don't know. I'd run.
Bartola's good. You could also easily run Gabi out here
You
because
don't want a bunch of children in your back line too.
Gabia is very solid with both feet, so you could run him there and run Delaney more in the center where he's gonna be
Yeah,
more
I like
combative in
that
the
a little
mid.
better.
This is gonna work very well. You have Bartola, Bartasagi, and then you have
You still got
your.
an 18-year-old, the heart of your defense. This is what we were talking before.
It's
That's why I
okay.
said
It's okay.
I
I
didn't
don't I
give a
don't I don't
shit so
need
much
that.
about getting Leone or not. I know he's the hot name, but like he played a good half season, and he's getting better. He's not ready for prime time yet, and
Doesn't matter to
he'll
me.
have this.
It doesn't matter to
Yeah,
me.
no,
I don't care. This is I'm not doing the full like, oh, I'm gotta get this through after this season. I want to build for the
I
future,
mean,
right?
18-year-olds in defense is a big risk.
Okay, it's fine. I mean, I don't need like the world's best defender here. You know, there's no great defenders. I like to build with the team. I'm cool with Leone. I'm cool with Camuzzo. I'm
I
cool
like
with
guys like
Bartola.
Ranieri for in a good experience blue collar Italian player that will make your team better. You know,
Well,
like
he's a good player.
and then Leoni comes in as a rotational piece. I mean, throwing him in as like, yeah, we're starting with you. Like, who's your backups right now?
But not many experienced players. That's for damn sure. You've got Bartasagi, who's going to be here. You've got Bertola, actually probably there anyways. And that's it. And then you got to buy another guy. So you got to buy one more.
Yeah.
You could look at a guy like VT. He's like in his like early to mid 20s, who's cheap. He plays the left
Well,
side
he's owned
too.
by a French team. Yeah, he's
You
owned by a
know,
French team too.
but
So you
that's
can just
definitely an
bring him back
option.
home.
VT's fine. Honestly, if you run this type of thing, Kamutso may be your best bet here rather than Leoni. Maybe a little better.
Yeah, Camuzzo's good in the middle. I like Camuzzo a lot. I think he's the most athletic option out of all of the young Italian defenders available.
He's combative, and he
He-
was the best when he played in the center for
Yes, he was
Fiorentina
very good in
of
the
the three
center.
man.
Yes.
So I mean, like, I don't know what's going to happen here. The good thing is that I like all these links. My fear is that they don't go this way. They go somebody out of total left field, and they don't build an Italian core back there. That is what I want, and I hope that they at least send some of them. I think the only one, weirdly enough, that's a must sign because of the price is Bertola. I think he's physical. He's actually got decent speed for his size. So you could even just grab him if you want to go very, very cheap. But Bertola over here,
Yeah.
super
I think it's
easy.
an absolute no-brainer.
And then you have
it's
Leoni
great.
backing up Gabbia, right? Which is honestly not
Yeah.
bad. You have Kabuto
Leoni
and
on the
Gabbia
bench.
can trade time, right? It's fine. It's fine.
You
So
need a big defensive overhaul. It's the perfect time to do it. I like that based on their skill sets. I like this setup the best. Yes, and Leoni on as a rotational piece. That's correct. And then whoever your fifth guy is, you have that other kid on your team already. There you go. You
yep.
got your five.
Yeah, and then
You
I
got
mean
very
you can,
young defense.
and this
You have
leaves a lot of
two.
room for improvement. So you can still sign a youngster like VT, whoever, doesn't matter. You got a lot of options to build these guys
Yeah,
up.
you
Use your
might want
core
to
though.
sign some experienced guy just to bring into the mix because if Gabi gets injured, you're going to have a bunch of children. This isn't FIFA. You're going to have a bunch of children in the back line. But you're a couple injuries away from having a FIFA team.
That's true.
Truly. Yeah, you need to have some experienced guys back there with the young guys to learn from too. And I don't think like Tamori is some wise sage that's going to show him the way.
No, but he's been in
Nor is
Serie A for
Gabi.
years now.
Yeah, but he's a dumb player and he makes a lot of he's not a great defender in my opinion. He has the right skill set for this formation.
He does. All right, so that's been kind of the defensive thing. There's a little bit to discuss there, but honestly, I'm happy with a lot of the links. There haven't been too many links I haven't liked, so we'll see if those actually come to fruition or not.
The main thing is let's get this team Italian again. Allegri knows how to coach him. He knows how to protect weaknesses. So he'll at the very least you'll have the right coverage you need.
So a lot of this stuff, the formation is going to change here once we move it into midfield for me. So you have the placeholder of Emerson Real. You have Fofana. There's been no real links away from him. I think Allegri's going to really like him. I'm not a fan. I think
Allegri's going to love Fofana.
His lack of motivation, his lack of hard work, to me, his lack of defensive covering in a position is awful. But I think if you run him as an actual CM, he's going to do very, very well and reduce a little bit of that defensive burden. Just have him as like a ball winner. Once you remove that positional burden, he's going to be fine. So I think I'm actually going to change this right now. We've seen the formation. Let's actually drop this down. It's going to be a 3-5-2.
I think Fofana is perfect for Allegri. He's a lazy player. What pisses me off the most about him is he's made numerous mistakes last season, like multiple that I can remember specifically, which means that's a lot. Because if you make so many mistakes, I specifically remember them. It's a bad thing, and he doesn't recover from them. He doesn't make any effort to fix his mistake. He just hangs his teammates out to dry and walks backwards and says, "Ah, shit."
Yeah,
That's a horrible
we've seen
attitude.
it. We've seen it.
Yeah.
So, but yeah,
It's a horrible attitude.
he's gonna be there. He's gonna play, and then him and I think Loftus Cheek are gonna rotate at that spot.
Yep.
At that kind of
No, I
because
think
he's gonna love Loftus Cheek, dude, because he's
Buddy,
physical.
Loftus Cheek is playing.
Yeah, he's gonna love him. And he's got the size of that Allegri likes. He's gonna love him.
Loftus Cheek in Musa's spot right now. That's exactly where you got Musa. Loftus Cheek, you just pencil him in.
You really can.
You better hope you get Ricci from the middle to actually move the damn ball.
That's where I'm going next. So our two links, and I honestly would go and get both of them, to be honest with you. Our two links from midfield that are the actual Italian links. Actually, there's three links. You have, sorry, I'm gonna make it even bigger. 4. First is Modric. Looks like he's actually coming in. It's not fully official yet, but looks like he's coming in. he played a ton of games for Madrid last season. He's not, even though he's really up there in age, he's got some pretty good longevity. This guy, he's gonna play some games, but you shouldn't count him to be your out and out starter given his age. So he's gonna come in. We'll just put him back here for right now. I don't have to. Okay, yeah, Fofana. Isn't it amazing how much better the team looks when you just put him in there? Even though he's got his age,
Yeah.
he's probably gonna do fine
Yeah.
in Serie A. Honestly, he's just a smart player. So
Oh, no,
Modric
it's fine. Yeah.
and
He is almost 40, so that
yeah,
is a lot older than, I mean, you guys gave up on Pirlo. I mean, everyone did. Even Juventus fans, when he signed him that year when he was 32, said he
yeah,
was washed.
yeah. At
So,
32,
yeah,
wow,
everyone thought he was, if you ask Juventus fans now, oh, yeah. I think, no, I was there. You guys all thought he was washed.
wild
Now you're
stuff.
getting a 39-year-old, so,
Yeah, it's wild.
yeah.
So
It's just,
that one is probably a for sure thing. Then you have Granit Xhaka, who I think would actually be a nice experience signing. So I wouldn't mind. They kind of put that are play a similar role. So Modric, Xhaka will bring the experience. And then you
Ari's
have
bringing in his Albanian brother.
that's right. And then you have even though he's totally Albanian, even though he plays for Switzerland, he's Albanian. But you
Yeah.
have your next links are going to be Ricci and Rovella. And on this cast, we tend to
Rovella all the
lean
way.
towards Rovella. I just don't think it's going to happen. Although that would be my pick. If I had to just say who my ideal pick would be, is I think you use every bit of the grinders money and just go get Tonali back. And make your mistake, bring him back. That's what you should do. But I can't put him in here because that would be more for the fantasy cast and not for the semi-realistic one.
It's not about the transfer money. It's not about the transfer money. It's about the salary.
Right, but I mean, you could replace two of your players' salaries with his, and it's fine. But they won't make that sacrifice.
Then you set a dangerous precedent because just like what happened in Napoli with Kvaratskhelia, the second someone has one good game or one good season, they want to be the highest paid on the team because their agent told them that that's what they deserve. And like some stripper, they're like they totally believe it. Like, yeah, I need more money. Give me more money. And then that sucker's out and it's over. So that I understand that why that's a dangerous precedence to set. I do, and especially if Milan's trying to be, super Moneyball team and keep the salaries low. That's the problem. It's not the transfer fee. So they can make that happen. You can amortize that garbage. It's all kinds of.
It's always a salary. It's always a salary, which is why growth decree was so massive for these guys.
Italian teams only make money on player transfers. Compared to other leagues, it's like if you're looking at a slice of pizza, it's like 3/4 of the pizza is how we make our money, and that's on transfers. Whereas other leagues, it's all on TV deals. So it's a real shame because you can't spend more than you make. So, well, unless you're Inter and Napoli, you get to cheat. So, anyways, you have to consider that with the Tonali thing because I think you could totally buy him with the money that you're going to make, but it's about the salary, and that's
he also fits this just a ton better. If you're gonna and I think we're actually gonna get. I do think the Modric thing is gonna be finalized. I know it's not full, but it looks close. I do think if we get him and Xhaka, like you're gonna want a guy like Tonali more than you're gonna want a guy like Ricci or Rovella because he can do both.
Tonali's better than both of them.
He can go for it if you need him to, whereas those guys don't really do that very much. So he's gonna fit the formation a lot better, and actually complement that much better. So I think that's a better fit.
He's just a better player. I mean, Tonali's an absolute animal.
Yeah. This might be a bit of a different formation. We might not go 3-5-2. We might just actually go 3-4-3 because when you look at the people they're signing or looking through, Ricci, Rovella, Modric, Xhaka, they're all like actual D mids, center mids maximum, but they don't. You almost can't run too many of like actual CMs here with all these D mids you're looking at.
Because you got Pulisic too, so you got to go on a 3-4-1-2. I think
3-4-1-2, 3-4-3,
or he'll go back to his 4-3-1-2 that he ran. Back in the Pjanic days.
They do like a 3-4-1-2.
Or would you guys have Prince? Yeah, maybe you had Prince in that spot.
Yep.
In the 4-3-1-2.
Yep.
Yeah, he's not against that. I don't think he's going to run a 3-man back. I don't think he's going to run a 3-man back line with Milan. I don't think you have the defensive.
If Hernandez goes, we probably won't.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll see. All right, so those are the links. I would love to get Rovella. That would be my main guy. I would put him here. I think, and it's possible. He's not crazy expensive. He's expensive, but he's not crazy expensive. He actually plays D. What's up?
You got to move Modric up. I don't think he's going to play that deep.
I mean, if you're running this, he's got to play next to him, right? He's not playing attacking mid.
Where's Fofana? I mean,
He's not playing in my semi team here. He's playing
well,
backup.
there's 0% chance that Allegri's going to keep Fofana on the bench.
I mean, if you're only running 2 mids, right? You run a 3-4-1-2.
There's 0% chance Ravella plays over Fofana if Allegri's your coach.
Doesn't matter. This is a new signing.
I like your lineup better, but
no, this is how we're Italianizing. If we're gonna get Ricci or
you
Ravella, they're
got
gonna
your
play.
coach. You got your coach. I mean, that's who you got. I think they're going to go 4-3-3. I think if you want to get Ravella, it's going to be Ravella, Fofana, Modric. Yep, that's what I think. And you got Pulisic, Leao, Jimenez up top. I don't think he cares about Teo. He's played.
He probably is going to run a 4-3-3.
Yep, he's played Teo at left. He's going to play Teo at left back, and you're going to have Gabia and Tomori in the middle, and you're going to have some right back. Probably like what Dodo from Fiorentina, something like that.
Man,
another Brazilian guy for.
I mean that's likely, right? But right, that's what's called that's the
realistic rebuild.
No, it's not. This is a semi-realistic rebuild. This is what I would do given Allegri's characteristics. If it's Allegri, that team's very easy to build. We'll build it for people right now. Okay, you're gonna who are they gonna buy here? Probably some random person. It's not gonna be these guys, right? Dodo's not gonna play center back, dude.
Oh, center back? No, it'll be Gabi and Tomori.
Who's this gonna be? This will be Dodo. I think that they like Dodo.
Yeah.
Honestly, he's a good player. I don't mind Dodo.
Yeah,
he's just a better wing back. He's not an amazing side back. Here,
that's Teo.
No, he's gonna go. He's being sold. This is actually a spot they're gonna have to buy. I think this one's a huge question mark. No, it's not gonna be Teo.
You think Teo's gonna leave?
I think if they're gonna run a 4-man back line, he's gonna leave.
I don't, because I don't think that they think that Teo's as bad of a defender as we do. I think that he's a world-class left back. I know, he's a horrible defender.
Awful.
He's almost the worst of a defender as DeMarco.
Similarly bad on that.
Similarly bad. Yeah.
Yep. So he'd run this. What I think is gonna happen is I actually think they're gonna get Ricci and not Ravella. I think they're gonna get priced out of that one. They're gonna get Fofana, Modric. And Xhaka and Ricci would be and Modric and Ricci would be trading time. Loftus Cheek would be trading here. This is gonna be something. This is gonna be that's it. You barely sign anybody, and you didn't re-Italianize your thing, and you're gonna be working probably with Zion Suzuki, and this is gonna be your team. You're gonna have this exactly if you get them. This is not anything I would like to do. I don't even want to make. I don't want to make this build. I don't want to watch this team. I don't want to watch this team.
I totally agree.
I actually would be interested to watch Modric only, just because I think he's an amazing player in history.
Yeah.
I don't care about anybody else.
Yeah, Suzuki's a really bad player.
Count me out. If this is what we're going for, count me out. I'm not doing it.
This is what all the people on X are going to cream over, though.
I'm not doing it.
How much?
I don't care if they're good. I don't have passion for it. I don't even want to watch it. There's no Milanismo here. You're not building a core.
This is not the kind of team that makes you want to turn on the TV after a long week of work and it's the weekend. You're like, man, I can't wait to see these random guys play for Milan.
I'd rather go watch Barcelona. It's like actually watch some people play hard and play the style they want to play.
Yeah, this is another shit lineup.
I'm watching this.
But this is what they're probably going to do.
All right, so there we go. We just built that for you guys.
Now we're doing the semi chub.
It's just so dumb. I don't want to watch that at all.
Yeah, I agree.
I just don't want to watch
What I think is going to happen is I think that Pulisic and Modric are going to share time as an attacking midfield role. That's exactly what I think is going to happen. I think Leao is going to, or he's going to run with wingers. I don't think so though. I don't think I've seen him run a lot of teams with wingers. I think that Leao is going to play up top with the striker, or they're going to try to cash him in.
This is such a hard decision. That's what we'll do at the end though. That'll be our ending discussion is the whole Leao thing. There's a lot of talk about that.
Well, it's a big discussion because it really depends.
What do you do here? Like honestly, the guy that I would get.
It is all about him.
All I get is this guy. What's that? 2 T's. I get Fortezzi. He wants to go. Good. If you want to play 3-man mid, you have a good hard worker there who can easily pop up there. I go with the guy like that.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's not Pulisic. You can get Dodo. I don't mind him at all. You can. There's a lot of players, especially as he's very hardworking. He's Serie A proven.
The problem is, Mike. Right here's the problem right now with this team. Okay, Vertazzi doesn't play defense. Modric doesn't play defense.
He does play
He
defense.
does, but
He does.
he's slow.
Xhaka
He's not
plays
going to be.
defense too. I mean, if you have Xhaka there, he plays defense for sure.
Yeah. That's all on Ravella right now. Ravella's doing all the work, and behind him you have a child and a couple average guys.
Not bad.
I mean, it is when you have that midfield in front of it.
I don't think it's bad.
Allegri's never gonna do it. Allegri wants a fucking hard men.
Fatesi versus Fofana is not an upgrade
I'm
at
not
all.
saying
Fofana
that.
play
I'm not.
defense.
That's not the argument. I don't. I think you need somebody who actually is a true box to box player that's going to play defense and work his ass off.
You need Tonali.
Like, yeah, exactly. You need a guy like a Tonali, like a Rabiot, like a freaking who's the guy we used to have, Matuidi. He wants guys like that.
Yeah, they are linked.
Right.
They are linked with one person who we just looked at, who does do both back and forth. They are linked with this guy. Right,
That's a better option.
Which could totally happen.
That looks more firm. And yes,
Right.
you can change Fofana for Frattesi. Yes. So that
But
is
they're just not selling him.
That defense truly is very sketchy. So if you have a strong midfield in front of them, they're going to have 10 times more chance of success.
Sure.
That looks awesome.
You could also easily do something like this, but you could put both of them there, right? Because Ricci's the more like kind of like positional, kind of more like a smooth guy, right? And Ravella's the more like he's going to actually like tackle.
Yeah, they
right?
can play together.
You could do this type of thing, no problem. Right, run Hernandez over here.
Who dictates the play?
Who
dictates the play on offense? Who is your regista?
You could do a 3-4-1-2. You could put Pulisic there. It's fine. Like you could run Pulisic over there. This I don't think you need as much as you think because these two players are excellent going forward. Hernandez and Dodo are excellent at pushing forward.
Yes.
Right? And Leao can shift middle. If this guy's Pulisic switches middle too. This is totally fine. It's totally fine.
You run a 2-3-2-5. The nice thing is here, you run a 2-3-2-5 in attack. You don't have any center backs that have delusions of grandeur, like our best friend Bastoni, who thinks he's a regista. So all your defenders play defense. You have excellent wing backs here, and you have two true holding midfielders that can do that job and distribute. Yep. And then that totally frees up Leao and Pulisic to play free. I like it. Yeah, okay.
This isn't a problem at all. You could also do like the 3-4-1-2, put Pulisic here. It's the same thing. You just have him rotate inside. It's all the same.
Tomatoes,
right?
Yeah.
You could, and as you said, this actually allows Modric some freedom because he could play as one of the DMCMs, or he could play as the attacking mid, based on what Allegri wants to run that day. That's fine.
You're gonna probably have Ricci and Fofana.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, that's
not good enough.
Way worse.
That's
way worse than Ricci and that's way worse than Fofana Rovella. Because Rovella
has true defensive priorities. He actually prioritizes.
Work great. Ricci's a good player. But he jogs around. He's not doesn't tackle. Doesn't make a lot of tackles.
Nope. He shields. He's good at that. He's positionally sound, but he's not combative. He's not going to have as much defensive work as a guy like Rovella will have.
And in my opinion, Rovella is also better at being an actual dictator of play. But that's more of a close call.
Yeah. Depends on the day.
If you're going to be stuck with Fofana, Ricci's a big risk.
I agree. No, I totally agree. I actually don't think that, unlike Ricci, I don't think he solves that problem. Everybody thinks he's going to solve the problem. I don't think he does. I think you actually need a couple like true D mids. I think if you don't even get Ricci and you just got like this and like Granit Xhaka, this is strong.
Yeah.
This is strong.
Yeah, that's awesome.
This is strong. This is actually a higher class midfield than getting Ricci. And I like Ricci. This is higher class.
I agree.
So I mean, you can run it. The problem is if Fofana is going to be a starter, that's bad. Now even if you put Ricci in here, this is fine. Ricci Xhaka is fine. Totally fine.
Oh yeah, you got to have one guy that's going to do the work defensively. One guy that's going to run the sideline to sideline. One guy that's going to sweep in front of your defense. You have to have one destroyer.
And if Pulisic here, you can put Modric here.
Double as a regista, that's even better.
Totally fine to do something like this. You can put Modric back here, Pulisic here. Awesome. You can rotate a lot of stuff in here, right? So I do like the Dodo link in a 3-man back line. I don't love it as a side back at all, but that's what you got. I think Cambias was unrealistic. I'm totally fine with the Dodo signing. We're going to be, I think, selling a lot of players. Let's kind
Oh
of
yeah.
go with the more the last little one, the kind of striker slash attacking player links plus
I
sales.
do you need one?
It's all about layout. Okay, so Rafa Leao, would you keep? Would you sell? What would you do?
I would keep Leao, and this is a real difficult thing for me to say because as a 40-year-old adult male who tries to continue to watch this modern game, he is everything
Yeah,
I despise about the modern player. I can't stand him as a player. I can't stand him as I he has zero commitment to the team, doesn't care if they win or lose. But for 10 seconds, if he decides to actually play, he can score you a goal. And the problem is, if you sell Leao, what do you actually replace him with? Do you replace him with the better? The next guy's going to be a very similar style of player. That's how these
just
modern
not as
players
good.
are. Just
It's
not
just
as
not as
good.
good.
So, like, not every single player on your team needs to be some robot who gets back and does all things, all this dirty work. Okay, we saw Yamal get completely worked in who's like everyone's screaming over. I got totally worked in that Nations League final. So like it doesn't matter if they can't get back and actually do the damn job. Let him be him. Let him go and party and enjoy his life and do everything else he thinks is more important than his actual job. As long as he shows up on Sunday and delivers for some kind of period of time, and you know damn well against some stable team, just bring him on as a sub. Don't start him against us. He doesn't want to play. He
No,
doesn't want to play against us. Bring him on for the big games. Bring him on as a sub for the little games. Allegri's going to be a much better coach for him than he's had in the past. Allegri's not going to try to pretend like he's some workhorse. Allegri's going to, like I said before, Allegri doesn't run a harsh practice. Allegri runs a freaking country club. So he's not going to be worked too hard through the week. He's going to be allowed to express himself with his little music and his little crappy looped
it's
music
fashion.
loops, his fashion.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and he's going to be able to do that stuff, which no one should care about. If he wants to do that, that's
If
fine,
he produces on
as
the
long as he
field, I
brings
don't
it.
really care. The
Yes,
problem is when
I
you do that shit and you don't bring it on the field.
yeah, right.
Yeah, no,
Then it
I
looks like
agree.
you don't care.
Personality
Yeah,
wise, he's awful. However, like in the first few seasons, both him and Hernandez worked hard almost every game. They also had people who had clout over them here. They had Giroud, they had Ibrahimovic, they had Kyra, they had Maldini. They had real people here, right? It's an entire difference.
well, you still don't have those
Yeah,
guys.
they are the guys. That's the problem
Yeah,
here. Like they are the guys here. You're not
yeah.
bringing in some. I mean, Modric is the only person, but like
No,
I don't think that's enough. I
I
don't think
totally
that's
agree.
enough. I don't think he's like some hard ass. I mean, I don't think that's
This
enough.
is, and I forget now because it's been a little bit longer cast. But at the beginning of the cast, did we talk about if we should actually if we both want it with the same we're in the same position with both of our teams. Both of our teams need to completely scrap everything and start over. Truly, in order to establish this. Because with players like this, unless you have a locker room of players that are bigger than them, they are never going to be the player you want them to be because they're only going to be held accountable by their peers. Another coach that's going to come in and grind them is just going to be another pain in the ass, like a middle school kid with a mean teacher. This is exactly the same mentality. So the nice thing about Allegri, he's not that asshole. He's pretty chill. So maybe you'll get more production out of Leao and Hernandez.
I mean, it can't be worse than last year. And if you do bring in a character like Modric, that can only help up the team. Maybe he's not going to play as many games. Maybe his age finally starts to catch up to him. But at least personality wise, he's going to be there. He's actually been there,
That's
done
what they
that,
said about Walker.
everything. So Walker's a bit different. I mean, Walker has nowhere near the type of clout that a guy like Modric has. Modric played for the biggest and the best. He's actually going to go down as a historical player. Walker will never go down in history.
No, I know, but they said Walker would come in because he's won so many Champions Leagues.
Yeah,
He's
yeah, yeah. I
a
know,
top
I know.
player on that on a top player on one of the best teams in the world for multiple seasons. I
So,
mean, it's
so here's the thing. I don't think you could bring any player in. The reason why is this because it's going to help for a little bit, but
right.
if you don't change your core and you don't change your cultures, your beliefs, your values, you don't get the Milanese back, you're done. And the problem is
Yeah,
not these players. The problem is the management because you have this poison coming from the top that they have nothing here. They don't care about the team. Cardinale doesn't even show up. He's got a clown like Ibrahimovic who just God knows what. He just does social media all day long, posting workout pics of himself. This is who you have showing you what it is to be a Milan player. It will never work. It doesn't matter who is here on the field because this is what you're being shown every single day when you show up to the not just to practice, but when you go up to actually to the facilities, you see these people. Like you think Furlani is an inspiring character. You think Moncada. These guys are jokes. This is the problem with Milan. You can get by with enough individual talent to get top four, right? And you can build a better cohesive team, and that's probably enough. Plus Allegri. The problem is
You're
still
selling
the
off.
poison at the top.
Yeah, and well, and if you had any chance whatsoever, you can't be selling off your best players that actually love and bleed for the club,
You
aka
can't
Tonali.
sell Tonali.
Tony
He
Leon.
was the
Why are these
guy.
guys gone?
He would have stayed forever, and that was the whole reason he was here. And they literally get his value skyrocketed, and the first person they signed was the last person people thought they would ever sell. That's exactly what tells you who Redbird is. They literally took the person who was going to be your future captain and sold him the first season. His value skyrocketed because they said this is the most profit we can make, and they did the same thing with Reinders,
It needs to be completely
back to
drilled in
back.
people's heads. Okay, how many Scudetti have Milan won in the past 20 years?
Oh Jesus! Like what we won the one under Pioli, won the one, and then 2011. I mean, it's not a lot, man.
Okay, so okay, in the past 10 years, one,
One,
one. Okay,
Pioli.
for the past 10 years, okay, and it's been longer than this, but the past 10 years, there's been zero effort to bring in Italian players. That's why you have won in the past 10 years. And if you look back before that, you've done a lot better when you had an Italian core. And that's the way Juve is too. And you can pretend. I don't know if you know. There's a lot of our clubs have a lot of fans from other countries, and I know it's very offensive, boohoo. But this is what Milan is. This is what Juventus is. This is what these Italian clubs are. And the reason we lack leadership, the reason we lack core, isn't because we didn't buy enough mercenaries that had experience. It's because we don't have it built into the
We didn't build
foundation
it into
of
the system, and we didn't buy these players when they actually were something because we chose to make a play like buying Pellegrino from Argentina rather than getting Calafiore for 5 mil because the growth decree was there. These are the decisions that we make over and over again. Not buying Ricci when he was cheap, not buying Rovella for 18 million, letting him go to Lazio. Now you're going to pay him for 40 plus million. These are the decisions you could make, but you chose other options because you always decided to go for it. It's not.
yeah.
We're not saying that they're so much better than other players, and obviously looking at the national team, not remarkable, but there's talent here, and it's more about building the team in the image of the team, so it means something.
That's a real difficult concept, people, especially people who haven't played any sports at a high level. But it really does matter when you're in a locker room with people and you know, hey, this is the young guy coming through the system. This is the guy that's the leader. This is someone who's grown up and lived in Milan. It does make a difference, and that's exactly why we watch this sport. You know, if you want to watch a sport where nothing matters, and go watch American football. Like none of these players give a crap. It's all, you know, there's teams within an hour drive of each other, and you know, they don't really care because there's so much money at stake. It doesn't have the history, the tradition, and certainly doesn't have the nationalistic, backdrop like European football does. That's what makes it magical and special, and that's why I care about it, and not just from a national team sense, for the club team. So, um, and in Italy especially, we have a very unique footballing identity. I mean, Milan's probably the best at having balance in terms of offense and defense. Like there's a specific way we play here. And if we forget that, then we're just some robotic, soulless sack of crap club like everybody else. And I don't want to be that. I don't want to turn on my TV on Sunday for that. Sorry. I don't
No,
mean to get
I'm
poetic.
in total agreement. And that's more for the like national team cast, right? Because every team plays different, but that's like it is definitely what the national team has to get back to. But the same thing holds for the core. Milan has always been an
No, my
Italian
club team
team.
needs to get back to that too.
Juve
No,
specifically though. No, Juve definitely. Juve has always played that way. It is what it is, right? Milan has definitely said the balance, right? They've always been
I
the
said that. Yeah.
balance. Yeah, and I agree with that. They've also been the balance as far as like building a core. They've always had a strong Italian core and top class foreigners. That's Milan. We don't have that anymore, so we need to get the core back, which is why I'm veering towards certain signings. Um, in attack, you don't really need to sell Leao or Pulisic. I do think that one of
Oh,
them will probably go. There's been rumors about both of them wanting to leave. I don't
oh,
know if
Jesus.
one or both are going to leave.
Why?
If one goes, so actually, regardless of if they go, I think you go by Chiesa because Chiesa can rotate
Oh, yeah.
starter time with either side, left or right side, with Leao or Pulisic, whoever. He's cheap right now, which you never know if he has a good season. He won't be cheap again. Um, this is the time to buy him. He's been heavily linked. It's probably the strongest link of the Italian clubs right now is with Milan. He's the right price. So you get him right now, regardless
No
of if
brainer.
anybody leaves. That's
Absolutely no
like
brainer.
your Bertollet signing. It's a no brainer.
Yep.
Now,
Yep.
if one of them leaves, I think you go and get Orsolini because he's
Yes.
ready now. He's Serie A proven. Does he have the seal? Does he
He's
have
hungry,
the
dude.
ability that Leao has? No, but he's consistent. He's good. He has actually a lot more work rate too. Orsolini's ready.
I think he produces much more consistently than Leao does. He's someone you can count on, which is really important to offset Leao.
No, so I think if that happens, all you do is you just shift Pulisic to left wing, you put Orsolini on right wing, and there you go. That's easy. If Pulisic
Yes.
leaves, you just put Orsolini there, right? Or you start Chiesa and have any of them sub. That's for me the two signings to make. You start with Chiesa for sure, and if one leaves, you go by Orsolini.
No
Striker
doubt.
wise, it's the last thing to discuss because Kamara's been just, I don't know, disastrously managed here. He needs to play. He needs to be one of your main rotational pieces. While I don't
I don't
think
think you need a striker.
we don't need a striker, but we've been linked with Lorenzo Luca. I think
He's okay. He's not that good.
no. I think the problem is we bought Jimenez, and I'm not saying
Right.
I actually think that
Well,
he's not as bad as people think he is. I just don't think he's on a team with service. But it would have been probably not. I don't think
we
we
don't
needed
just
him.
have Jimenez, right? You have Jimenez, Jovic, and
Jovic is leaving. Jovic is leaving.
and okay, so you have Jimenez and
Tammy's
Camarda,
leaving.
right?
That's it.
Jimenez, okay, that's two strikers. One guy is like should be in his prime, already, ready there, and he has some kind of talent. He started out well and then faded out. His mental problems, wonderful. And then Camarda, who is just brimming with talent and needs to frickin' play. You just need one guy, and maybe Luca is the right guy because he's an entirely unique profile to those other two, and that's kind of that's the whole appeal of Luca. He's not some
That's
great
right.
player,
They
but
are
he's just a
all
6'8"
different.
monster that you just throw out there, and be like, we need to win a header. He's like the Italian Eric Crouch. Just throw him out there, get some sloppy header. Yeah, he does. He does actually run a good. He holds up. His
Peter
hold up play is
Crouch. Peter
pretty
Crouch.
good. Peter Crouch, yeah, whatever. What is Eric Crouch? A football player
I
for
don't know.
the
I don't know who he
Cleveland
is.
Browns? I think he was a quarterback. Yeah.
I don't know Eric Crouch.
Anyways, Peter Crouch, whatever that big ass gump was. He's that to me is what Luca is. He's a unique profile, and that's why he's sought after. It's not because of his amazing talents, but
No,
I mean that to
he's
me is
got
a good
more
three-man.
skill than you think. I agree. I think it's
Yeah,
totally serviceable. The problem is
I think
I don't want to see Camarda being a third fiddle. I don't care that
that's
he's
exactly what he
young.
would be.
The thing is, he needs to be a true rotational piece. Those three should be rotating. Now this guy starts. Those three should be rotating. Not Jimenez just starting. Luke as your backup. If that's
If
the
you're gonna
case, I
have
don't think I want to see a signing.
No, I agree. But if you're gonna have backups of like backup winger, if your wingers are Leao, Chiesa, or Salini and Pulisic, I think that one of them could just play a false nine, and you just keep two strikers. Because Camarda needs to play. He needs
Yeah,
to play now. Just get him out there, and he will be just fine. He's strong. He's athletic. He's
you can
strong. He's super
always
talented.
to change the formation in like 2 seconds and say, all right, fine, we don't have our we don't have
Yeah,
our main striker right now. You can play like a two up top, right? Pulisic drops back
easy
here,
peasy.
then Leao plays with like Kamara to give him some help, right, or something like that.
Yes,
It's fine.
totally fine, dude. It's not rocket science. It's a simple game. Children play it.
Okay, so I think there's not that many signs that actually are needed. I think that they're going to actually make a ton of money off of transfers. I mean, especially if they do sell Leao, like the links, we should discuss them before we kind of close out here. There's been
Okay.
Bayern, there's been one of the Al Nassr, and then Liverpool. The most prominent one is Bayern for sure. That one they're linked with giving a good chunk of money plus either Kim Goretzka or Koeman.
Oh, how old's
Hmm,
Gretzky?
30 maybe. Let me look.
Gretzky's good. He might be the guy you need and say definitely an upgrade over Fofana.
Goretzka's 30. Kim I think is 28.
Yeah, I'd go with Goretzka. Oh, this is for Leao.
Yep, plus money.
Ooh, if you get rid of Leao,
Yeah, Coleman,
I'd
who's
take
very,
I'd
very
take
talented.
Coman. Yeah, I'd take Coman because Coman, get similar positions, so now you don't have a hole in your team.
You
And yeah,
could you
then you
could
can get.
also buy no what the you could also buy Chiesa or Stellini and then you go get Kim
I think you
to
do that.
make your
I think
defense
you buy
solid.
Chiesa no matter what. I don't think. I think you do that no matter what transpires. I think that's just a guy you sign.
Yeah.
I think he's. I think he's super frustrated. He's on the brink of having a failed career. I think that he's way too talented and way too impactful of a player that and way too versatile, being able to play both sides and in the middle.
I could see
I think
Kim
that
coming to
he needs
Milan
to
though.
play.
I could see Kim doing well in Serie A, and then you go if Leao leaves, right? You could go back to the
Who, the defender?
yeah. I could see Kim doing
I'd be
well there,
cautious about him. He was horrible with Bayern.
right? But he was good in Serie A.
He was, yeah, he was with Spalletti's team. I don't know. I guess company is not like exactly a it doesn't really run a lockdown D. Neither did Spalletti, so
Right.
I don't know.
Now,
I wouldn't.
if they run a 4-man back line, I could kind of see it, right? Because you could just run Gabi net next to Kim. I could see it. But
Yeah, I mean it's an
either way,
upgrade on Camuto,
and
right?
and he's 28. He's not a kid.
Yeah,
He's ready now. I could see
I
it.
wouldn't get rid of Leao. I don't think these. Yeah, I wouldn't. I'd keep Leao.
I don't think they're gonna really replace him in the best of ways, right? I mean, I think if you do something big like that, you get rid of your top player, you bring in somebody who's like a top player, right?
Yeah.
Because if Milan's going to gain any clout back, you do it. That's honestly why I think that even though it may sound outrageous salary wise, like you really should be trying to get Tonali back here.
Oh, they should.
You should be
Yeah.
trying if you're going to let go of Reinders for 70 something million, who would easily fit in a 3-man mid. Like if you ran like a 3-5-2, that's who you should be playing in the 3-5-2. Right? He should be playing in front of your Ravella and Jaka easily. You don't really need to sell him, right? It's just weird. I think so. If they sell both Reinders and Leao, yeah, you easily should be bringing back Tonali.
Yeah, it's a shame. It really is a shame that Italian clubs have succumbed to this.
Yeah,
It's yeah. I don't care what anyone says. There's no way we're ever going to be a top teams doing business like this, and our clubs
no.
are operating very similar, in very similar fashion. Anytime someone's worth any money that they're just gone. And
Hmm.
then you have fans that are just like, yeah, we need the money, man. It's plus Filenza, pure cash, bro. It's like, who do you buy from it? Are
Also,
you
like I'm
progressing
not
your game?
sharing in your profits here. Like I just want to watch my team play in a way that makes me like fall in love with them again. That makes me respect them. Makes me feel like Milan. And then when they start doing well, then we've got something there.
It also sets a tone. Like, like if you're a player for Juventus, you're there to be sold. You turn your team into a stepping stone by having that mentality. And that's exactly what happens. It's like, oh, if I do well, I can get a big contract somewhere else. If I do well, I can get a big transfer fee somewhere else. It's you're effectively turning your club into a second tier club by being a selling team. If you're a selling team, you're not a top team. Sorry, you're just not. And you know, you can pretend like plus Valenza matters to your billionaire owner, but it really doesn't. Doesn't at all.
Tell a lot of people like if you want to keep the defense very lean as far as like cost goes, right? And you sell off Leao to make a lot of money off of, right? You sell Magnan and a bunch of your trash. This is very reasonable. These are the two things you have to actually spend on.
Yeah. I like that
Now
team.
you have a core. Look at this core.
That team's never going to happen.
This is a core,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, it is. It
You
is.
don't, it doesn't matter who's up there. Put him at us. I don't care.
No,
This is a real core,
yeah, I like that.
right?
That's good.
And then
No, put
you
Kamara
piece
in
the
there,
guys in
man.
there.
Fuck
Put the man.
Jimenez.
Yeah,
Fuck
Jimenez.
Jimenez, dude. Come on, dude. Like Jimenez and Luca are better than Camarda, and I don't think so.
But also a little bit what you can do too. Like if you have this, right? When Reinders needs a sub, you have
Modric.
Liberali.
Oh,
Modric can play here too, right? Easy. Classy team,
no, I mean that's a hard midfield, dude. That's a fucking hard midfield.
right?
That's a midfield that protects your. This is what I was
Modric,
saying earlier.
Xhaka.
That's a midfield that protects your back line.
Midfield needs to be revamped. Our midfield sucks. The only redeeming person was Reinders, and he's not defensive. Only good person is Reinders. That's it. He's gone.
Your midfield is a bunch of softies.
Yeah. So that needs to be revamped, in my opinion. And with what we think of the modern game, that's where you're gonna get the most bang for your buck. I think they can sell anybody, and if you make a nice, strong midfield, your team's gonna be infinitely better. You can even keep the same crappy defense, and you'll be fine. midfield.
Yeah, well, there aren't great defenders on this planet anymore. They
Nope,
don't exist. They don't. And
they
I
don't.
know everyone, Juventus fans love Bremer. Bremer is not the sharpest tool in the shed.
No,
Okay,
not
Bremer
at
is
all.
super athletic, and that's what matters now. He is not positionally sound. He doesn't mark exceptionally well. He's not the greatest defender I've ever seen, not even close. But for the modern game, he's good enough. So I don't think you can buy great defenders. I think, yeah, you definitely stack up your midfield with guys who play a proper game.
It's just so
That's a
nice,
good
dude.
hard midfield. Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
good hard
yeah.
midfield. I
You
like
have
that.
nice backups. You got Liberale, right? You have Modric who trade time.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to do. You can honestly bring in Zerolia as a backup. Like
Yeah, Liberale is real young though,
this
right?
would fit. Yes, he's a backup to Reinders if Reinders stayed, right? If you
Yeah,
sold Leao and kept Reinders, that's what you do. He backs up
I
Reinders.
think yeah, well, you're not keeping Reinders
I know.
because
I'm just saying
they're
there's
chops.
they've been making so many mistakes already.
Yeah, well, this is the difference between a great team and a shit team. Is a shit team sells their best players, and a great team keeps them. So
Beautiful
I mean,
Pulisic, right?
there's exceptions to every rule. Okay, so where some nerd puts a comment in the things. In general, top clubs keep their best players. Mid clubs sell them.
You
What
even
are
do
you,
something like
Lamar?
this. It's easy. Chiesa,
Yeah,
Pulisic,
if it
right?
works,
There's so many
it's
options
fine.
with this team and this squad if you just build the right midfield. So it needs to happen.
Yeah, I
So
agree.
a lot of stuff. That's kind of where we top out here. I've said about all I can say. Do I think Milan's going to do anything like this? Nope. But would I be happy if they did? Yeah, of course.
Yep.
You know, the biggest thing I want to see, and they won't, is I would like them to get Tonali, which is not going to happen. Secondarily, I want to see them get Ravella, which I don't think is going to happen. I think we're going to wind up with Ricci, and I think you're right. It's not going to solve our problems. I think
Yeah,
Modric
he's
will
too
help
soft.
the locker room. Xhaka may be a kind of like a quite a good signing because he kind of fills a lot of holes here. But
I like Ricci. Ricci is a smooth operator, but Ricci is way too soft. You guys need someone.
yeah,
You guys need a hard man in the midfield. You need your you need your water boy, and it doesn't have to be just a a Gattuso kind of player because I mean obviously those don't exist anymore. But you do need someone who can run and tackle.
yeah,
Yeah, Modric would be Rovella would be a much better option than Ricci in that respect.
yep, I agree.
For what Milan specifically need, absolutely.
Well, whoever stayed with us this long, thank you for joining. If you have any comments, if you think we should do something similar, something different, let us know. Like and subscribe. Take care. And as always, what's the culture? Ciao.